exclusives on Rugby.com.au as we get things underway through Verta. I'm sure he'll feature in this match as the ACT take it cleanly and move forward. And if that first tackle has anything to do with this match, it's going to be a physical one for both sides. ACT carding forward. Fed out well. Here's Goddard, who chips it through and playing the exit play, and it's done pretty well there. And Queensland looking for a jinking run, and they make some metres to start the game. And the troops rallying behind. Good leg drive from the Queensland 2 side. The ball not coming back. Referee is there on the spot. He said play on. If Canberra locals turn the ball over, it's a free-for-all at that breakdown of the middle. They pass back and clear through Carter Gordon, who gets the start here today. And Jimenez kicks the ball probably about 30 metres on the fly, but only gets the 5-metre advantage with the tough sideline. But Beth Newman, you've seen a lot of footy these last 4 days. Are the two best teams in the final? Yeah, they are certainly going to be up against it. Queensland won. I like the look of this ACT side.
Bind. Set.
As the ball is fed out to Goddard, who exits well. And Queensland chopped in the tackle there as they come down this short side, and they've run straight into touch. I feel for the young fullback for Queensland, who just didn't actually have an understanding of where the sideline was. It's very difficult to read down here because there's lines everywhere, but Ralston Byron thought he was in the clear, but he was about to hit the tuck shop. He was that close to the fans on the side. Here's the ACT through Lonergan, the hooker, who feeds it off and hits Goddard. And first phase play through their left centre, Gilmore. And they shift again, the ACT. Here's Jimenez with that shift of the ball, and it's kicked behind, and Queensland under pressure. But does that ball go too far? But almost a try there from Jimenez, who was flying down that
22.
outside. But it'll be a 22 restart. Brumbies tactical exits looking pretty sharp here, Beth.
Juniors. The ACT school sides have really used their tactical kicking really well this week, and it's really paid off for them.
Yeah, well, here's Jimenez again, and he loves running around people and loves running through them as well. And he gets through probably about 4 or 5 different combinations of defence there, and they look to chance through wide through Goddard, who shifts it across to Lonergan. A great sleight of hands now. The ACT looking very dangerous down this left side, and some fancy footwork is seen. The ACT flicks the offload back. Oh, gee, that was a good run by Smith there. Centre, but he probably could have gone all the way. Beth Newman, it was a great run, and he had almost half a metre to get there. If he extended out, he could have almost got the chocolates.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he just didn't realise, how much space he had, or looking for that offload, but maybe just, should have gone for the line there. But it's exciting footy to see from the ACT. That lead up was just lit up their side, and that's the kind of thing they've been doing all week.
Crouch. Bind. Set. It's come out of the same tunnel.
Just having a feel for
Straight out
the
the same tunnel.
scrum. Referee got a handle on it at the minute.
Ouch.
As the
Bind.
young Canberrans look to take advantage of this. It was a great run down the side by Smith before. Strong scrum by the ACT. They moved through Goddard. And now up in the defensive line, the Queensland 2 side doing their very best, and they shift things around. They're looking very dangerous, but as is the Queensland defence at the moment, just racing out of the line, looking really strong. Here's Zane Hogan, who shifted again wide. Now it's back on this side. I think that's Lefua. And digging in now. Goddard finds Kahia. Here's again the scrum half Smith, being very busy at the moment, and the ACT schools chip it through, but cleaned up really well there by Queensland 2. A quick restart from Queensland, and they're on the advantage line through Byron Ralston, who's taken the quick line out. Oh, sorry, drop out.
Let it go, 7.
Queensland 2 with the ball. Here's Vuta. And he's clanged it. Vuta's thrown it at the feet of fly half Carter Gordon, who had a great game against New South Wales. Won here, but not off to the best start. The young fly half from Queensland. So another set piece here
Bind.
for the ACT.
Set.
And the scrum is solid. And here's Goddard, who shifts it one wide to Gilmore, who carts forward around the corner. So playing the same pattern, and that's Holland, who carts forward, makes some good meters. Here's Smith again. And Stella, their flanker. Leave it is the call from the referee, and here's Smith again. Looking for a little bit of a jink through, and ACT through Holland is his best to make some meters. They're looking very, very dangerous now here, the ACT side, and here's another strong run by Osborne. Ball not coming back. Referee decides to call a penalty.
You're not supporting your own weight. You must be on your feet to play the ball.
Doing their very best to
Points.
slow down the ball, but ACT have pointed at the stick, so 3 points an important part of this game. Respecting the opposition now, Beth Newman, but it's been a good start to the ACT. Queensland just haven't had the ball.
Yeah, and the ACT, they've tried everything to try and get over the line, but haven't quite been able to manage it. So probably a good option to go to Goddard, who has been so accurate off the boot this tournament, and should get them off to a good start here.
And William Goddard, this kid can kick. As he takes his time and peers down the post, looking to get his young team off to a 3-point advantage. So here he is, William Goddard. Moves in, strikes it nicely. He's been the best cooker in the comp so far, William Goddard, and you can see with plays like that, ACT well in control in the opening part of this game.
first points.
And they're up 3-0. As Queensland look to get back into attacking zone for Vuta. It's been good, the little scrummy this tournament. And they come away with the ball now, Queensland, so looking to pounce on the set-piece mistake, and the counter-attack or counter-ruck doesn't work for the Canberrans. Vuta shifts it across to Herbert. Good meters there by the young seven as they look to go back down that short side, and a good strong run by Tuimavi. And that ball is spilt away and knocked on. So good defence by the ACT. And some exciting interchange of play too, of course, by Queensland, who look very dangerous with the ball in hand. And we only just 11 minutes into this match.
Crouch. Bind.
With both teams
Set.
almost playing a game of chess rather than checkers at the moment. And the ACT go on the attack now through Jimenez, who's taken the ball from behind.
Cross forward off goal.
A little bit flat in attack there, but Queensland now looking to attack through Ford Stevens. And now this is Herbert. I like the way this kid plays, Herbert. Really strong on the ball and a good carrier. What Australian rugby needs in a seven is Queensland
Advantage
shift it
over.
wide. And here's another player I love watching play, is Braden Law, in the middle of everything. Here's Vuta, shifting one to Connors, who's held up by the ACT, and the ball stripped from him. And they get the turnover, ACT, but no, Queensland come up with the ball. So referee was there on the spot, so you'd have to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's got it right.
And you mentioned Braden Law just before. We talked a lot about the rugby bloodlines that are in the tournament this week, but he's also a relative of an up-and-coming women's AFL star, Shalise Law. So it's a little bit of sporting pedigree in that family.
Crouch.
Yeah, well, there's certainly some talent on display, and it's Law's been one of the standouts for this Queensland side. Started on the bench and just worked his way into this starting team and has never disappointed.
Bring it up, please, guys. So we just need a bit more body height.
Queensland
here,
pack
please.
really
Yep.
took it to
A bit better body
New
height
South,
here, please.
New South Wales won in the match prior through Tuolangi, Van Neck and Tuimavi. They were really, really strong.
Crouch.
As we
Bind.
get things underway.
Set.
Just on 14 minutes now. Good shove by Queensland 2, and here's Jimenez, who just punches it through. And taken by Ralston, who runs straight into the teeth of Stuart Stella. Here's Vuta, scoots out, looks for the player down the short side, and Queensland looking very dangerous now through Herbert. Herbert pushes it back on the inside, but just not forward, and Canberra have come up with it through their hooker, Flanagan. And here's
Advantage over.
Goddard, who finds some space, and Queensland look to counter that with a good kick, and knock-on's called from the sideline, but it's not there. But William Goddard has got them out of trouble, so Queensland 2 in the best attacking position off set piece so far. As they win that ball off the top. And now Queensland come through. Good tackle there by Lonergan, who raced out of the line and put pressure on the Queenslander and has come away with the ball to ACT. So good defensive work as they look to counter. Here's Goddard, who chips ahead, finds space and just finds the field of play. Would have liked to have kept that one in, Beth.
Yeah, they just haven't really been able to finish off those attacking opportunities so far. And Queensland are starting to get a little bit more momentum and get a little bit more control in this game and looking really good off that set piece too.
The line out over the top from Queensland. Who's going to dive on that ball? It is Queensland, and they're motoring forward. And they'll receive the penalty, and the tap is taken quickly. And Vuta with a pretty ordinary play by his standards.
7, you've got to be on your feet to play the ball.
Has just taken the quick tap and then grabbed it into touch. So probably not the best result for Queensland after that penalty. And the throw from this young hooker, Lachlan Lonergan, as they cart forward now the ACT. Gee, they run hard in attack. These young Brumbies shifted out wide. One out run by Holland. Feeds Jimenez, and Jimenez decides to play it down the opposite end and kick the ball out the full. Disappointing result there by young Jimenez, who's coming to this game with a lot of hype. And the line out will go to Queensland. Who have been fairly good across the board, the Queenslanders, with their set piece, and that line out is won, although not cleanly, through Vuta, and they cart forward, and the Reds fly half Carter Gordon, and they continue to go down this short side. Queensland 2 looking good at the moment. And they keep rallying forward and held up here in the play, but the ball is able to get down to deck. And here they go down the short side now, Queensland. Tackled well by the ACT, who continue to motor forward. Good little inside ball there from Van Neck. And a penalty to Queensland, so interesting to see here whether or not they go for the 3 points or look to continue this momentum, because they're the better side at the minute.
Points. So there's your mark, yeah. So guys, on the try line is 10 metres from the mark, yeah?
Beth, what's your decision here as coach of the Queensland 2? Do you go for the sticks or you head for the sideline?
I think they're looking to go for the sticks, and I think that's probably a good option at the moment. They've struggled to get in a really dangerous attacking position, and I think in those sort of situations when you're within range, you might as well back your kicker and give them a go.
Still a great kick there by Queensland 2 has given them the parity, and it's 3-3 now. 1 minute to play for the first quarter, so there's 30-minute halves. And Carter Gordon makes no mistake of it. So it's Queensland 2, 3 points, and the ACT 3 as well, with the 20-minute mark approaching as Goddard gets things back underway through a deep kick and taken well by Queensland, and they boot it back down and get the territory there. So well taken by the number 8, Tatua.
And you can already sense there's a bit of a lift in intensity in this final game. There's so much at stake for both of these sides, and especially kind of being underdogs coming into the competition, and you know, that's probably why we haven't seen any soft tries or any easy tries scored so far. It doesn't look like they're going to open up anytime soon.
Here's Goddard now receiving the ball, and the way to run is just go straight and hard, and that's what Holland does for the ACT. Really deep and structured in attack too. That's a good piece of defence there from Gordon Carter, but the ball comes back again through Smith. Smith shifts it on. And Isles then back to Goddard, who skies it high and taken well there too by Queensland.
It's a courageous take by that Queensland player. Just running in, knowing there was going to be a defender coming straight at you as well. It's very good under pressure.
Vuta down the sideline. That was Stowers who took that ball. And Herbert shifts it. Good strong carry here to Tuolangi. Queensland have got their hands in the air with that breakdown, sensing a penalty, but Gordon then kicks it deep and taken well by Jimenez, who decides to take the short arm. And a fairly handy kick too by Jimenez, who then gets the opportunity to receive it again and tackled well, but also brought down well by Queensland. Looking to flood that ruck. 3-all. Both teams really even at the moment. Good run by Stella. Ball at the back. And kicked again through William Goddard, and Gordon's back there and throws the quick line out if he actually did find the touch. And the Reds to shift it wide through Vuta, who his best kick Vuta, but here comes Goddard, who beats Vuta and makes some meters, and Vuta's there for the pilfer, but just couldn't get it. No, he's come away with it, the young scrum half. What a play by Queensland. As they play the short kick, and tactical kicking's been good in this game, and here's an opportunity for Queensland to get back down there. Here's Jimenez, he just puts his foot on the touchline. She would have liked to have seen Jimenez do his best there to keep moving, but it was Ralston who put all the pressure on him and just found the chalk.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the kicking today, like the tactical kicking from both sides has been impressive, and Queensland have benefited from that really deep in their own attack now. And the short line out nearly gets them a try, but looks like it's been fumbled over the line.
Yeah, some interesting play there. A lot of pressure. It's amazing what pressure does in these type of finals and games.
We've seen a couple of experimental line-out formations today, a couple of those short ones that we've seen the Brumbies kind of execute at Super Rugby level quite well, you know, every now and then, but that one just didn't quite come off for Queensland.
They've been a real joy to watch this ACT side. However, they're under an enormous amount of pressure from Queensland at the minute. And a good set piece. Goddard, gee, it almost went through the hands of the Reds player streaming through. Here's Vuta, who shifts it wide. And Queensland back on the attack through Ralston, who looks to do some crazy stuff there out in the flank, but a good return for the ACT and good exit. And the Brumbies look to, I should say the young Brumbies, look to capitalise on their strong set piece, and they do, and Goddard, as he does all day, and as I give them a good rap for their first phase and set piece, they've dropped it cold. And not in Holland's game, that's for sure. He's had a great tournament, the ACT number 8. Just wasn't good enough to carry that one.
And the younger brother, I believe, of Aussie Sevens captain Lewis Holland. So there's a little bit of talent running through that family as well.
You get comfortable, mate.
So it's Queensland 2 with the scrum and feed. Just the 2 penalty goals in this match to date. As Vuta hovering around the back of that scrum there.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Vuta looks to feed in, but referee's called hinging on this one. Bit of a tough call for the Canberrans, but I'd like to have seen another scrum going down, but it's now Queensland ball, and they'll continue to maintain the rage and pressure through possession and territory, and that's a great kick there from the fly half Carter Gordon. Makes such a difference if you can find that pocket. And if their line out is in any sort, they're going to put a lot of pressure on these AC2 school side. And Queensland win it easy and well, but they're certainly not winning this ball. ACT putting a lot of pressure on, but opens up the short side through Herbert, who shifts it off the ground. Are they in the corner? Queensland 2 have scored. The post has been taken out, but we'll just check that replay. I think it was Vuta who scored it, but what a blow for the ACT just 3 minutes from halftime. Good set piece here, and the maul seemed to splinter and presented the opportunity for Queensland 2, and Vuta was there on the spot and scores in the corner. So
kick to come with only 3 minutes left until
a kick to come with just 3 minutes to go. Beth, it's game on. Everyone was talking up this ACT side. They find themselves down by 5 coming into half time.
Yeah, and that score from Queensland, I mean, it almost looked inevitable given the way the last few minutes has played out. They've been heaping the pressure on the ACT, and they've camped themselves in their attacking side, and their set piece so far has been a very good platform for them, and they showed that there coming off that line out and being able to convert, which is a very handy weapon to have in your skill set. Carter Gordon just taking his time with the conversion.
And so he should. You wouldn't want the ACT to score any points leading into this second half. And not successful, so
conversion unsuccessful means the difference
now gives the ACT just 2 minutes of play to potentially get back on the scoreboard as they kick things off through Goddard, who skies it high and down, and the Reds have got the ball, but they go for the short side play now, Queensland, and that pass was called forward. So just said before, with a minute and a half to play in the first half, you want to exit well. You want to put all the possession back in territory on the opposition, and they just haven't seemed to nail their exits as well as the other teams, Queensland. But good opportunity now for the ACT. As we go into half-time, Seamus Smith feeding the ball in for
Bind.
the Canberrans. Wouldn't this be a huge blow for Queensland too if the ACT can get on the scorecard into half-time when they had a commanding sense of possession going into the half.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Still taking their time now, the ACT. Big shove. Ball finding its way to the back, but Queensland have made a meal of it, but no. penalty to the ACT,
Wheeling.
and they quickly point to the sticks.
Points.
Well, certainly Seamus Smith did, and with this boot of Goddard, who
Yeah, that's tough.
has really been one of the reasons they're in this final, the way he strikes the ball. I don't think he'll have any problem with it.
No, he should do it quite easily, and it'll be a very handy 3 points going into half time, just to stem the kind of flow, the pressure from Queensland a little bit, and try to turn the momentum around coming into that second half of the ACT. So if Goddard can get this, it makes things very, very interesting.
I know.
And Goddard's already got a little bit of a trademark routine for his goal kicking, so he's clearly onto great things. It's a little bit of a shimmy and of his head and of his shoulders before he
rub of the
lines up
face,
the
isn't
kick.
it? And strikes the ball. Goddard. And makes no mistake. So good result for the ACT as they go into half-time with the score. A quick summary of half-time. It's a tight one here at Riverview Saint Ignatius. Just the one try in the match. Queensland scoring in the corner through Vuta, and the one penalty goal to them, and the ACT nailing that penalty through the boot of Goddard. So 6 points for them. So a real tight half here, but the best thing about this Schoolboys Championship is the amount of mums and dads and fans and people getting behind it. I said Sally O'Hanrahan and the operations team at the ARU have been really good at putting this tournament on, and the support of the Australian Rugby Union is always strong behind the schools. And we've got Marty Cambridge on the sideline with CEO of the Australian Rugby Union, Bill Pulver.
Thanks for that, Adam. Yeah, here with a very, very special guest, Australian Rugby CEO Bill Pulver. Bill, thanks for joining us, mate. A fantastic day on the Australian Rugby calendar.
Yeah, look, this is a very special day. Australian Schoolboys Carnival down at Riverview. It's 18 degrees, some wonderful rugby being played, and look, it's a pleasure to be here.
The talent we've seen coming through are the future Wallabies, the stars of tomorrow. Plenty on show the last 4 days out here.
Yeah, look, this has been a really good carnival in terms of quality. I've watched a number of the games leading up to the final day, and you know there's going to be a really good quality Australian Schoolboys team and Australian Barbarians team. Pretty good sign for the future of our game.
In our last game at halftime, we spoke to Lincoln Stollery too, the referee for this game. Not just a pathway for our players, also for officials and managers and coaching staff as well.
Yeah, look, really good point. I mean, basically the program you put in place is to take young people from a very young age to realise their dream to represent their country. That can be players, that can be coaches, that can be team managers, match officials. And it's all a very important stepping stone. And where, you know, you mentioned match officials, you know, we've got Angus Gardner now, who's in the top 5 refs in the world. Amy Perrott, probably the top women's ref in the world. And this carnival is a really important opportunity for young referees to show their wares.
We often see Queensland, New South Wales making the final. Today we've got ACT. They've been the fairy tale story so far, and they're leading at so just trailing by half time, but really good to see them in the final.
Yeah, look, it is. This carnival first started back in 1975. I think this is the 43rd Schoolboys Carnival we've had. New South Wales have won 20. New South Wales 1 have won 20. Queensland 1 have won 14. Queensland 2 have only won 2. New South Wales 2 have won 3. And ACT have won 3. So this is a pretty significant day for the winner. And at 8-6 at half time, it's a pretty good match.
And it's also fantastic that we've been able to show these games live throughout the week as well, having them streamed on Rugby.com.au. A big plus for fans who maybe can't make it down here to watch.
Yeah, look, a huge thank you to all of you working in Rugby.com.au. In the last couple of years, you have built a really relevant rugby brand. You're doing a wonderful job. You know, the audience to these programs is really, really strong. And I'm incredibly grateful for all the terrific work Adam and all of the team are doing.
I know you're very diplomatic, but I've got to ask, at half time, who do you think's going to get up in this one?
You know, look, you can't do that to me. I mean, watching lead-up games, the ACT number 15 is a really exciting runner with the ball. And I'm looking forward to seeing him break out a little more in the second half as they maybe get a little tired. But, you know, look, it's going to be a close second half.
Well, the Oranges are getting eaten. The coaches are doing this talk. The Queensland side leading by 2. We're going to come back with the second half just around the corner.
Thanks very much, Marty, and thanks very much, Bill Pulver, CEO of Australian Rugby, whose son Angus played, of course, for the Australian schools a few years back. So a tournament that's very close to the heart of many, and seeing some of the players out there today, I'm sure many of them will be wearing the gold jersey for the Wallabies in the years to come. So a quick summary of the match to date. Queensland 2 with 8 points and had the lead at half-time. And I would say it's unexpected by many, but not by the Queenslanders, who have been very spirited. They also won the third, fourth playoff. Queensland won over New South Wales won. So can they do the Quinella in taking out the gold medal and bronze medal game? They lead the ACT 8 points to 6. Beth Newman, your analysis of the game to date?
Put the pressure on the ACT, and it's been a pretty even contest though overall. Both sides have had their opportunities to score, but just Queensland getting that only try of that first half. But ACT have been in this position before. They've been in worse positions before, in fact, coming into half-time and managed to come away with the win. So if any team can overcome a half-time deficit, it's definitely these ACT lads.
Well, not long now till both teams are back out in the pitch. And referees doing a good job to date as well. So just 30 minutes away from who will be the Australian Schools champion. ACT out on the field first, as we bring you live and exclusive action here from Saint Ignatius Riverview, Rugby.com.au and Rugby.com.au Facebook Live. And perfect conditions here. A bit of a breeze, which would favour Queensland too, but it's a bit of a swirling breeze. And Queensland look to clear through Gordon Carter. Good exit for the, I was about to say Reds, but they're playing in the white strip today because they are the second 15 in the final here. And Lonigan looks to convert. Good throw. Taken by Queensland. And that man, Connors, who has the 8 jersey on, but playing in the lock position. And the one-out runners now come from Queensland. Strip there from Connor, who's jets through, and he's run out of the line. Gordon Carter. So 2 big hits so far in this game. ACT need to get their attack in order. And Smith shifts it on to the replacement prop, Sha Tung. Here's Goddard, flat ball to Osborne, who always keeps his feet, Osborne, and runs well. They'll need to release that player, Queensland, and they do. Counter ruck on, but not effective. Back to Goddard. Goddard down the flank. And Isles just bounced through the defenders there. Good run by the lock. Here's their number 8, Holland, who turns the ball over. Knock-on advantage to Queensland. And Queensland barking for the ball now. And Carter Gordon takes it off his ankles. Charged down by Lonigan, but they'll go back to the original knock-on. So first 2 minutes, Beth, plenty of action. It's just teams need to be able to maintain that ball. It's too easy to strip the pill away.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely frenetic start to this second half, but no one can really hang on to the ball, as you said. And compared to a first half where we saw a lot of that kicking to advantage and that sort of thing, it seems like both sides are really looking for to put the ball in hands and try and score some tries.
Just take a step, please.
Crowd still very much
Crouch.
locked into this match.
Bind.
So previous results saw Queensland beat New South Wales, and can Queensland 2 win the final? They're up by 2 points here now. Here's Connors, who feeds it out, towed through. Bit of a hatless kick, and it's actually gone out on the full. So not the best result for the Queenslanders, who had the opportunity to turn that possession into points. They're playing smart rugby in territory, but they need to execute. Here's Lonigan, beautiful ball at the back by the young hooker. And now moving forward, the ACT hasn't had much of the ball, this young kid here, Jimenez. And they play wide and they look to hit back on centre field through their forwards, and ball needs to come quick. And it does through Smith. Offside. Smith makes a dart now. Smith, the young half. Seamus Smith on the outside of his boot. Queensland quick to come back, but the advantage, it was a decent one. Really well cleaned up by Stowers. If he didn't clean up that ball, it would have been try time. And a bit of argy-bargy underneath the 6, but they'll go back 45 metres. It'll be interesting to see now if the ACT decide to go for the sideline, or in fact look for the boot of Goddard to knock it over. Goddard's 45 metres out. I think it'd be ambitious for him to do it, and he's backed himself. He tried to milk a couple of metres in front of him there, Goddard. A cheeky 10, but the referee pulled him back on the mark.
It's an interesting move from the ACT. It's really showing faith in Goddard, and I mean, I guess why wouldn't you? He's been so accurate all tournament. But this is going to be a big ask for him. But if he slots it, they'll take the lead, and that's what they want.
He's certainly a sharp shooter. This young fly half from Canberra. William Goddard, with his ritual of rubbing the cheek on the shoulder and a bit of a shink and a jimmy. Will it work for him this time? He moves in, strikes. I don't think distance will be a problem. What a kick. 45 metres out, Goddard, no problem. Certainly didn't back him here in the commentary box, but I'll be backing him from here on in. Beautiful strike of the ball. Gives the ACT the 1-point lead with 25 minutes to play. I'm sure the score won't finish this way, but the ACT have the advantage at the moment. Restart by Vuta, and ball boggled behind and taken forward by Osborne. And Smith still calling his troops around to that short side. Little run there by the replacement back rower, Connor Smith. He's done well since he's come on. Here's Smith again to Goddard, and Goddard finds Lonigan, and Lonigan, good little footwork there by the hooker. And here's this man, Jimenez. Or is that Goddard? No, it is Jimenez. Going to work around the corner now, the ACT. Not much doing, but Queensland defence is holding strong. A lot of talk here. And Goddard says, let's get out of here. Good kick. If this finds the touchline, it keeps going, and it does. What a lovely kick by the young fly half from Canberra. I've been impressed with him in this tournament, Beth. The old school type of 5'8" that can really play a game of tactics and have that ball on a string. You liken him to anyone else in Australian rugby at the moment?
It's probably not that many really astute kickers at the top of Australian rugby right now, to be honest. But he's definitely showing that sort of, rare ability to find the line.
It's knocked on off the top off goal.
Yeah, he's a straight up and down 10.
Boss
He
forward.
reminds me a little bit of Jake McIntyre, the way he plays.
Thanks, mate.
But you are
Just here,
right.
sorry, mate. We're just waiting
When
for
you
this
look at Bernard Foley and Quade Cooper, who would be number 1 and 2 fly halves in the country, there isn't really anyone that you could solidly say that have just got the radar on. There was all types of talk around the Iceman Bernard Foley, but he
Crouch.
is probably our most consistent kicker.
Bind.
But if you can kick the ball through the sticks, you can do very well in this game, and he's doing that today, and his tactical kicking has matched that as ACT put some pressure on the Queensland 2 scrum, and they go for the one-out run. And getting over the advantage line there is Ford Stevens. He's held up again. and ripped out here by the ACT. Now all the pressure coming back onto Queensland. Getting in at scrum half now is the ACT forwards picking and going through Lonigan. That ball is deemed to have been stolen, but it falls at the back now. So rumbling forward are the ACT. Will they get it wide? They do. And this is Jimenez who scoots out and runs wide and finds himself in a bit of bother.
He's just not finding the opportunities that he's had through the tournament, Jimenez. He's just meeting Queensland defenders every time he tries to slip through a gap.
Well, he's that loose ball, the Gregan ball back in the day of the ACT, back on the inside from Smith. They look to go back down that short side. No, they opt for the open. Here's Goddard. Goddard shifts it across. Good, strong carry by Kearns. And here's Goddard again. Now he goes to the line and runs probably one of the biggest players in the pack. He's held up at the minute. Maul's on. Queensland have come away with it. And good turnover there by Lalatoa. And the clearance kick taken by Jimenez. And let's see how this kid dances. He goes forward. Billy Slater-like. Crossfield kick. A beautiful one. Brumbies looking real impressive now. And they go straight through their winger. And tackled shortly after. And Queensland were there. Here's Smith again, firing the pass across to Canberra, and that was Chatung. And the call have come on Brumbies from the sideline. Pick and go from Canberra now. The ACT looking to make some history here at Riverview. Ball at the back to Smith, to Goddard. Goddard looking out wide, feeding his forward runners. This is a good carry here from Marlett. And a jink and a dive and a swerve. Smith's over and scores. Good, strong try there by ACT as the parents from down the Hume celebrate here on the sidelines. He's been good today, Smith. Seamus Smith, the young halfback. He's been at nearly every breakdown. He hasn't allowed any forwards or anyone else to shift that ball. And Beth, some sound reward for a continuous surge of effort and pressure on Queensland too. And the ACT will jog back to halfway, feeling pretty confident about this one with 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, and I think that passage leading up to that try really showed some of their different tools that they've got in their arsenal there. Like Jimenez's crossfield kick to the winger, and then the pick and go that shows they can convert the pressure. They can also try and create some attack, which is a very difficult thing to do. And this should surely be a very straightforward kick for Goddard.
Now that you've called it, Beth, I'm backing him out. Commentator's curse.
Didn't look like he went through his routine properly then either.
No,
just
he
straight
didn't rub
to
his
the
face
tee.
hard enough.
No.
That's probably why he only just got it. I like how he rubs his face and he puts his helmet back on and gets straight back into it. So here's Vuta with the Queenslanders down by 8. Gee, the restarts have been good in this tournament. Great kick and taken well by Connors, who gets straight to deck and looks for a long ball place. Reds juniors are now looking to fire and close this 8-point deficit through Vuta, their halfback, who's running like an extra back rower. Penalty to Queensland.
You're off your feet. You must be on your feet to play the ball. Yep.
Just on 18 minutes of play. Smith goes over. Just having a look at the size of Smith next to the referee. He's a big lad.
Point, sorry. Yep.
Almost like the same stature of a Jake Gordon, but when he went and jinked and went himself on that try he just scored, I almost thought he botched it, but he is certainly big enough to carry some players with him. As Queensland now opt to take the 3 points through Cooper Whiteside. Should be taking his time on this one. All the momentum sort of drifting away from Queensland too. Whiteside, who started the game from the bench, with Carter Gordon, who had a really strong game in the last one for Queensland 2 over New South Wales 1 that got them in the final. But Whiteside, a very highly rated 10 in the Queensland school system. He moves in to strike the ball and strikes it well. Finds the sticks, and Queensland close the gap. So 11 points to now the Queensland 2 side, and they still trail the ACT 16 points to 11. But having that margin cut to be within 7 certainly lifts the morale and confidence as Goddard gets things back underway and taken well by Connors. And return with interest. Whiteside belts it back. Sorry, that wasn't Whiteside. That was, in fact, the outside centre solely. And ACT motor forward and held up short to that ad line. Here comes Smith to Goddard. And another good run by this replacement back rower, Connor Smith. And gets the penalty. So Smith
19 white.
really had a lot in
Plus all
front
out.
of him. The best thing about it with any of these young back rowers watching now, if you keep that leg drive, it puts so much pressure on the opposition. And you usually come away with a point. So a good run there from the number 20 in reserve back rower. Here come the ACT. Lonigan with the throw. Taking his time, and they throw to the back. Good line out set piece once again. Look to them all. They jump out, and here's Goddard, who throws an overs line to Jimenez. Buckle up here, ladies and gentlemen. This kid can play. And he scored for the ACT. And you can just tell how important he is to this team just by the amount of players that rushed over and gave him a bit of love. And to their credit, they've all come streaming back to halfway, knowing this game's not over, but the discipline of this ACT side and their attention to detail, beautiful line out. And I called it Beth Newman. As soon as it got in the hands of Jimenez, it was buckle up. And he was always going to find some type of danger for Queensland too.
Yeah, he hasn't had many opportunities today, but he had half a chance there, and he absolutely made Queensland 2 pay. And he could have, he had a player on his outside as well that he could have gone to, but he backed himself. And I think that's what you've got to do if you've got those sort of skills and you can be elusive like that. And it paid off. They're now up by 10 points, and all the momentum with the ACT now into the back end of this game.
So William Goddard has the opportunity to extend this lead and put it out to 12 points. I'm just really happy for the ACT to be playing so well as Goddard. Stop it. Stop it. He's a player to watch, that's for sure. William Goddard nails it from the touchline and nails it from 45 metres out. This kid can play. Here's Vutup with the restart. And taken by the ACT. They motor forward, and another barnstorming run here from Chartung. And a good carry by the reserve hooker who comes into the game. That's Katsu Kamagas. Here's Goddard, who shifts it again to Jimenez. A beautiful flat ball from Jimenez, and he called that forward, but all players offside for Queensland.
13 wide offside.
As you can hear the referee calling the 13 offside in that one. And the ACT go back on the attack. 12 minutes of play and 12 minutes away from glory for this ACT side. Or can Queensland rally like they did against New South Wales too to come back in this game? Still haven't had plenty of possession, but there's a lot more left in them as they shift wide through Smith to Goddard, and a big, strong carry there from Carthea. And back to that short side again, taken relatively high, but referee says play on.
20,
Ball
20,
at the base to Smith. Smith feeds, and some good defence from Queensland too. And very structured now. Smith does well to get that ball back to Lonigan. He's been good, the hookup. And now Goddard again, and a good, strong crash ball from Osborne. And here's Goddard, and through to the outside centre. He's belted there on the side by Queensland 14, Loatoa. And he's coming again now, the Queensland winger. Great defensive effort there. Only made about 5 metres in this facet of play, the ACT, as Goddard takes a one-out run. Smith gets it quickly, feeds off to the hooker, Lonigan, who gets through. Lockie Lonigan fends off 1 and 2. Vuta there to clean up, and almost the pilfer as well. Ball coming slowly for the ACT, and they shift it wide. Single one-out running, so they're sticking with the forwards and getting their backs organised out wide. Back down this short side. Brubbies Juniors just look to keep it in, but it's not a bad result for the ACT, Beth, with 7 metres out from the Queensland line, and the Reds with the line out in feed.
Yeah, and the ACT can probably thank Lockie Lonigan for a few of those metres. It's good to see forwards getting in the run metres, and we see it so much more often, especially with hookers these days. They're just so athletic.
As
present company excluded.
As the ACT look to put pressure on Queensland. Good exit there from Queensland. A high kick and puts pressure back on them. Here's Jimenez. Let's see what he can do. This 16-year-old prodigy from Canberra. And they come streaming through now, the ACT, and it's not a bad play and a good kick from Jimenez. Thought that Thomas Haddad was going to potentially swoop up on that ball. He gets a bit of a talking to from the ref there for that shove in the back.
9 minutes left, mate.
And now Queensland go for the quick line out, and taken well through Connors and Vuta. He's carried well, Vuta, but
Offside of the line
pulled it
out.
back for offside.
16 gold. He's halfway in. It's offside.
And they will have a very relieving penalty with 10 minutes to go. He's got some type of boot on him, this young kid, Whiteside. But this wind has now decided to play advantage to the ACT. It was swirling before, but I really feel it's behind the Canberrans' backs. Numbers in the line out, adjusted well. And pilfered by the ACT in front of their fans and family here on the sideline. Here come the Brumby runners. Well picked up, chipped through now by Canberra, pushing the back. Well, the referee was there but said play on. Here's Queensland doing their very best to rally something through. Braden Law, and Voots' kick is charged down, but he still does very well. Gets way across field. Cleaned up well by the ACT back rower, Jack Kearns. And Queensland looking for one out. Here's Herbert. He's been strong, the number 7 for Queensland. Ball back, and now Whiteside says, get it out of my side, and fires it all the way back to Jimenez, who struts forward and almost like a sevens player, D-cells and accels, and gets the ball as a long play, sees his players out on the side as the forwards take it forward and motor on. And they have been really strong in this Piggies pack. And the referee's not happy with that one. Illegal entry to that breakdown.
Number 4 gold, taking a man out on the ball from the side.
So now 7 minutes, Beth. Can Queensland manage to rally and get this game tighter with only just moments to go?
Well, we've seen plenty of strange things in this tournament this week, but it still seems like the ACT are getting more and more confident with every minute. But as long as the Queensland are getting some attacking territory, you never know what could happen.
Come off, please.
Well, they'll need to score soon as both teams look to, or one certainly looks to speed things up. The ACT are all of a sudden need all their shoelaces tied up. It's funny that. And if there was some type of Australian Schoolboy Championships record for the amount of players on one side, shoelaces all being untied at the same time on the field, I think we've just found that.
Through the side, number 4, yeah. So they're guys on the ball, and your guys just
Good
taking
tactics,
the
though.
taking him out.
As this breeze starts to pick up, and Queensland
Hey, we've just subbed him.
needing
Yeah.
a minor miracle, but
Looks
anything's
like Will
possible in
Goddard
this tournament.
is coming off with some sort of an injury. Maybe not exactly faking it after all. So that's probably
Maybe
that's a massive
it was
loss for the ACT.
double knot in the shoelace.
Yes, that could be very tricky.
They can be. He deserves a round of applause, that man, William Goddard. And I'm hoping that he's okay for representation further on, as here's Lockie Lonergan. He's carried well too, the hooker. I think he's playing 7 at the minute. And Smith feeds once again. That's Freddie Kahia. And one out runs again. Good defence by the Queensland 2 on Lachlan Osborne, but he gets that ball back real quick. And the lock forward, Thomas Isles. Here we go again. ACT, their one out running has been very strong with their forwards packs, and then it is turned over to Queensland, so they're not giving up now. This young Queensland side as Vuta shifts on one to the Reds as they continue to motor forward. That's Tau. And a pick and go from Connors on the cricket pitch as they rumble forward. Vuta looks for the short side, doesn't see anything on. Goes to Whiteside, looks for the dummy inside to Herbert. Nothing on there. Queensland looking for anything at the minute. And here they go again. Good feet there by the reserve prop forward, Kapua. Here's Vuta again. Vuta, the numbers not advantageous on this side, but a good run there from Leia. And now it's on for Whiteside. Whiteside with a little jink and a run and looks to get through the Brumbies defence. Shifts it out, and the Brumbies come away with the ball. That's a great run too. He's made an impact in this game. Connor Smith, and now it's down the outside flank. Brumbies streaming away and kicking it through was Queensland. They're back there and they decide not to kick it because they know there's only 5 minutes in this game. They need to score. They need to score soon. And it is a penalty to Queensland 2. He's been really strong, Lafia, the winger for the ACT. Hard to see the players down on that open side, but he's been really strong. Every time he's carried the ball, he gets it back, but I don't know if that was the right option there, but he's been really good in this match. With just on 4 minutes to go, here with Rugby.com.au journalist Beth Newman as the ACT gather the ball, and here's an opportunity for Haddad. Beautiful little jig there from the lanky ACT winger. Smith's in there to clean it out. He'd be exhausted, Smith. He has been everywhere today, the scrummy from the ACT, as he looks to dig things out. Is 3 points going to be a viable option in this position here? Will they look for the field goal? It might be that man, Jimenez, who does it. Pick and go on now for the ACT. This schoolboy side looking for their first schools title in a very long time. Burrowing through there, all the forwards rally. And the pick and go is on through Lonergan. He deserves a try, the hooker. Another pick for the ACT. Looks like they're 17, Chatung. He's still going the big prop.
Some very loud Brumbies fans just on the sideline as well, getting behind this team.
They certainly are. It's good to see the support from Canberra here at Riverview Saint Ignatius. Balls at the back. They look to find the posts. They're fairly well organised in defence. Queensland 2 out to this side as Lonergan looks for the pick. and another try and another attempt, but probably not a bad result here for the ACT because it is sucking up time. Here they go again through their lock forward. Thomas Isles, and I think he scored the match winner, the big lock. He has. Tommy Isles
confirmed it. Yes, the referees confirmed it's a try. So now ACT lead by 17 points, and it's almost impossible to think that Queensland could come back from that in 2.5 minutes.
And nor should they. Tommy Isles, well done. He's been nearly in every play in this game. Their bench has been superb, the ACT. Their stars have stood up. In particular, William Goddard. Smith, their halfback, has been outstanding. Not many touches for Jimenez, but every time he's had an impact on this game, it's resulted in points. Their hooker, Lonigan, also outstanding. You could go through the whole forward pack. Really, really strong contribution here from the kids from heart of mountain country. And the conversion successful. So it's now 30 points to 11 with just on 2 minutes to go. I think the conversion was successful there by the right winger, Haddad. But well done to Queensland too. They had a massive win here the other day against New South Wales 1. They do finish second in the tournament, and Queensland 1 finishing third. And one person that deserves a huge rap is that man there, Connors, who's turned the ball over, but he's been there or thereabouts. He's just got up with a bit of a limp there. Connors has been outstanding. Law has been quiet in this match, who's been one of the stars for Queensland too. Both Connors and Herbert been really strong. But Pride is on the line now with just on a minute to go. Imagine the
Crouch.
Parents down here from the ACT will be pretty excited as their kids, schoolboys and nieces and nephews and everyone involved in this ACT rugby program. Not a bad result considering the Brumbies sit on top of the Australian Conference and schoolboy rugby is strong. Their 20s program was sound in Super 20s this year.
Pack this scrum, please.
I think former Wallaby Rod Kafua was speaking earlier this week about how significant a win in this competition would be, and how this group of players will remember it for the rest of their lives. So it's a pretty big rap for this kind of competition.
I agree with those comments there from Beth Newman as the clock starts marching towards 60. Not long now. And here's Jimenez, decides to reef it out on the full. Referee blows full time. We have a new Australian schools champion here at Saint Ignatius Riverview. And all the kids come climbing in. What a result for the ACT and the Brumbies organisation. They have annihilated Queensland 2 here in the final, and a really, really just reward for what I believe has been the standout team in this competition, and the final result certainly indicates that. ACT 30 defeating Queensland 2-11 in the final. Full time here. A huge moment for the ACT schools boys, and what a wonderful, wonderful result and good sportsmanship there at the end. As we look through the stats very quickly, Queensland 2 only just the 1 try and 2 penalty goals on 11 points, but really the ACT were outstanding in this match. They scored 30 points, 3 tries, 3 conversions, 3 penalty goals, and a huge rap must go to William Goddard. His boot alone giving the Brumbies the advantage in this tournament and also in this match. So let's just quickly go through the rankings in this one. ACT champions, best school boys program in the country. Second to Queensland 2, third to Queensland 1. New South Wales 1 finishing in 4th. Combined states 5th. 6th position was New South Wales 2, followed by the Western Australian schoolboys and then Victoria. So what a great 4 days of rugby, and we've been absolutely thrilled to bring it to you live and exclusive here on Rugby.com.au as we get some highlights of this match, and there'll be plenty from the ACT with 3 really great tries, and we will be up for some running rugby. Who knows? The return of the Joe Roths, the Rod Kafers of the world through this program, and it all started really well for the ACT. They got things off to a really good start, and it was turnover ball, and Queensland just let them in the game, and just revealing a lot of their pressure in that piece. And a short play down the sideline wasn't good enough for them. They tried everything, Queensland too. They just could not get the result. So only one try sort of shows you that this team not only attacked well and kicked well, they defended well as well. So just the one try in this game, and it came through Vuta, and he scored in the corner. He was probably one of their best, Vuta, alongside Connors and also Lamb throughout the tournament. And the ACT, well, they had some real gun players, and they all stood up, and it was just that continued pressure with guys like Lockie Lonigan belting through. And you'll see some of the highlights here from Jimenez and Goddard and their halfback Smith, who I hope we'll get to have a quick word to on the sideline with Marty Cambridge. And this is where it really all wrapped up with this great run here from the ACT. They fell just short, and here it is now. This is the real telling blow, when the ACT could just get over that advantage line and really do some damage. So we'll get out of these highlights now. If we could just cross down, and there's some really good live action down here on the sideline of the ACT boys have got their tee. And it's just great to see the champions of 2017 all celebrating. What a great result, and a great result for the Brumbies organisation. And he's hoping we can maybe potentially talk to their captain, who would, I'm sure, be very keen to get back to his teammates and celebrate this great win. We'll cross now to Marty Cambridge with one of the players of the match and the tournament, Seamus Smith.
Here with a very happy skipper from the ACT, Seamus Smith. Seamus, how are you feeling?
Oh, awesome. Full credit to Queensland too on the way they played. They stuck it to us most of the game, and boys pulled out strong, played as a team, and I think that's what it comes down to in games like these, sticking together and playing as one.
Down by 2 at half-time. What was the message from the coaching staff? I'm sure you guys felt you were a good chance.
Well, yeah, down by most throughout the week against New South Wales and Queensland again. We just had to stick to that structure, play what we played before, and then we'd come away with the win. So, it's a great feeling. It's awesome.
Win the final undefeated throughout the competition. Must be a good feeling. You boys look like you really enjoy playing for each other. Yeah,
that's it. We had one thing, unity. Throughout that was a main aspect that we wanted to stick to, and down from the ACT, just a small bunch of boys pulled together, showed some character, and then I just loved the place. It's great feeling.
Great win today, hopefully an omen maybe for the Brumbies heading forward to the Super Rugby finals. Maybe they can go take some inspiration from you guys.
Yeah, they said that last night. It was a curtain raise to our game today, but I just want to enjoy the win, and then hopefully the Brumbies can show something like that. But
congratulations, mate. Well done. Enjoy the win.
Thanks, Marty.
And I'm joined as well by Cohen Herbert, the captain for the Queensland Twos side. Thanks for joining us, Cohen, mate. Commiserations. Tough game out there against the ACT boys.
Oh, yeah, it was a tough game. We had the 2-point lead going into half-time, but they were just very strong in the second half, and those early tries really put us on the back foot, and they got there in the end.
They played a really good, strong second half. Like you said, you were in front. They just didn't seem to go away. They just kept coming at you.
Yeah, they were very strong. They were really good. They just kept coming at us all game. We tried to give them our line-outs, just give them a running, but they just kept capitalising on us and taking the opportunities.
You guys did have a good week. I'm sure you're very proud of the effort your boys put in. Great wins throughout the week. Just that last one got away.
Yeah, we got to know each other. We only had a short period of time to get to know each other, but it was a good experience. I loved it down here in Sydney, and it was my first time, so it was really good. But, yeah, the boys, unfortunately, we didn't get there in the end, but I'm happy with the experience and the boys.
Well, mate, very good effort from you guys this week. Thank you very much for joining us, mate, and best of luck for the future.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Well, that's it from us here at Saint Ignatius College at Riverview. Rugby.com.au brought the whole competition to you live. ACT coming out winners for the 2017 Australian Schoolboys Championship. I'm Marty Cambridge. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for the presentations just around the corner.